Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel. It's great to have you here. If you're new, make yourself at home. We dive deep into books, ideas, and the unseen corners of the human mind. Today, I've got something powerful for you. A book that doesn't just challenge what we think we know, it flips the whole idea of good and evil on its head. It's called The Dark Side of Morality: How Good People Become Monsters. And trust me, this isn't just another history lesson. Why is this book important? Because it shows us something terrifying and real. That the people who rise up to save us can sometimes be the ones who end up destroying us. That good intentions, when mixed with power, can lead to unthinkable horrors. It's a deep dive into the psychology of power, morality, and what happens when the line between hero and villain disappears. So, if you've ever wondered how history's greatest leaders turned into the very monsters they fought, or how even the kindest people can justify cruelty, this is a book you need to hear. Now let's dive in and read the introduction of The Dark Side of Morality. Buckle up, it's going to get intense. The Dark Side of Morality: How Good People Become Monsters. They began as saviors, they ended as tyrants. History is a graveyard of broken ideals where the brightest visions of justice and equality have crumbled into regimes of terror. The very people who swore to liberate the oppressed became their executioners. The revolutionaries who promised justice built empires on the bones of the innocent. The benevolent leaders who vowed to serve turned into merciless rulers demanding absolute obedience. Power corrupts, they say, but what if corruption is not a flaw of power but a flaw of the human soul? We want to believe in heroes. We crave the certainty of good versus evil, of righteous leaders battling the forces of darkness. But reality is far more terrifying. The abyss between good and evil is thinner than we imagine, and history has proven that the so-called good can be far more dangerous than the openly wicked. After all, the most monstrous crimes were not committed by demons, but by men who believed they were doing the right thing. What happens when the liberator becomes the jailer? When a man who once fought tyranny now demands absolute control? When a protector of the weak becomes their greatest fear? This is the paradox of morality, a force that can inspire greatness but also justify unspeakable horrors. It is the same story repeating throughout history, an unbreakable cycle of noble intentions giving birth to nightmares. The revolutionaries of today become the despots of tomorrow. The voices of justice grow into the very echoes of oppression they once fought against. The transformation is subtle, insidious, creeping up like a shadow before it engulfs everything in its path. Nietzsche warned, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that he does not become a monster." Yet time and again, history repeats itself. Stalin began with the dream of equality, yet his hands were drenched in the blood of millions. Mao envisioned a prosperous China, yet his policies turned fields into mass graves. Even the kindest souls, when given unchecked power, can become architects of suffering. And worst of all, they rarely see themselves as villains. They believe in their righteousness and their cause, in the justification of every action taken to maintain their vision of order. They see their brutality as necessary, their cruelty as a tool for progress. And by the time they realize the weight of the horrors they have created, it is too late. If they ever realize it at all. The terrifying truth is that morality itself can be weaponized. Righteousness is a mask that allows cruelty to thrive, unchecked and unchallenged. It is not the monsters who commit the greatest atrocities, it is the believers. It is those who see themselves as good, as pure, as above corruption, who become the most dangerous of all. They blind themselves to their own capacity for evil, unaware that their hands are slowly becoming stained with the very blood they once vowed to protect. This book is not just about history, it is about us. About how morality, when twisted by power, can justify the cruelest of actions. About how we deceive ourselves into believing we are righteous, even as we trample those beneath us. It is a journey into the dark side of human nature, where good intentions pave the road to hell. And perhaps the greatest tragedy is that this pattern does not belong to the past. It is alive in the present. It lingers in governments, in leaders, in ideologies that claim to be built upon justice but demand obedience, silence, and submission. It thrives in the smallest corners of our society where individuals manipulate, control, and justify their own self-serving actions under the guise of virtue. We trust the good, we fear the evil. But what if the greatest danger comes from those who believe they are incapable of doing harm? What if the smiling faces, the compassionate words, the noble gestures conceal intentions darker than we could ever imagine? The truth is unsettling. Sometimes the kindest faces conceal the deadliest minds. And sometimes the greatest monsters are the ones who never realize what they have become. Welcome to the dark side of morality. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more powerful, thought-provoking books just like this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. And hey, if this introduction pulled you in, the full book, The Dark Side of Morality, is available now on Amazon. Go grab your copy and dive deeper into the chilling truths we often choose to ignore. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and I'll see you in the next book.